Oh, okay. This is the NAREB Partner Brunch. It's a little meet and greet. We all know there's power in numbers, so we're trying to get the numbers together to create the power. With power comes perseverance and great goals to be achieved. So, with that being said, you guys are getting some information tonight. Hopefully you guys take it all in. I've been around NAREB before I could even join NAREB. My father's been a part of NAREB since I was about 5 or 6, and I came up in this organization and I loved every bit of it. One of my favorite people is standing to my left is Miss Roberta Smiley. She's a strong woman who I can always get in contact with. When I need something, I feel bad because sometimes I call at 11 o'clock at night. She answers the phone and says, what can I help you with? Those are the type of people I like to work with. You can work with people like that all in NAREB. We're all easy to reach. We're all looking to help each other and build. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Miss Roberta Smiley up here to say a couple of things, and I'll see you guys shortly.
Good morning, good morning. It's so nice to see all of your shining faces this morning. As he said, my name is Roberta Sanders Smiley. I'm a real estate broker, and I am the president of the Greater Boston Real Estate Chapter of NAREB. And we have been in existence for well over 20 years. And the chapter is exactly that, a chapter of the National Organization of Real Estate Brokers, NAREB, that is across the country. And our philosophy is democracy in housing. And part of what NAREB is striving for is to help people become homeowners because there's wealth in home ownership. Along with that comes a lot of different aspects of home ownership, about teaching people how to become homeowners, to help them maintain their ownership, and also to get them prepared to even become homeowners. And along with that comes the other pieces, you know, of getting jobs, of maintaining jobs, of supporting their communities and their families as well. And NAREB is about all of that. We're here today because, as Richie said, we're looking for partners. It's not easy to work by yourself. NAREB has worked by themselves, and they have tirelessly looked for partners to work with. In the mortgage industry and the other facets of industry that relate to real estate, it's a big job, and it takes a lot of people. And we feel like if we can get more people to come together, to assist and to help and to work together, that we'll be able to achieve what it is that we are trying to do in the community, in our community. On a national level, they're doing their job. They're lobbying. They're, working with the Congress and working with the congressmen and others to affect laws, as well as working diligently to affect some change. We on the local level have to do something completely different. We're boots on the ground. We've got to work with our people here. So without further ado, and to give you more information, I want to introduce you to this powerful young man, because at this point we get better with time. We don't just get older. Richard Phipps has been a fixture in the community for a long time. Always with the same work ethic, always with the same drive to help. I don't know how he does it. He puts a lot of us to shame, the way he crisscrosses across the United States and the work that he has done with NAREB. He has truly been with NAREB for well over 30 years. And in that time, he has always tried to give information. He's tried to give support. He's tried to give information to whoever asks him for some help. Richard is the regional vice president of NAREB. We have about 12 regional presidents that have the responsibility of working with the different states. And Richard is responsible for New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and of course Massachusetts. tell you even better, you know, exactly what he has to do. I don't know how he does it. I swear he doesn't, how he does it. But Richard is my friend. He is also just like a brother to me. And he brought me into NAREB. Not really he did. A friend of mine and his brought me into NAREB to work with him to try to assist him in furthering NAREB. It has not always been easy. It's not always been fun. But sometimes it has been a lot of fun. But more importantly, we've been able to mutually work on participating and sharing and caring about our community and about people in general. Richard, without further ado, can I present to you and to others, this is Richard Fitz from NAREB, Regional Vice President.
Good morning and welcome to everybody. You all look so good out there. No, wait, were you laughing at me or something? Anyway, listen, I'm following young Richie's lead. He said the ladies are gorgeous and the guys are handsome. So you guys obviously have created a wonderful impression and continue to do so on our communities as well. I want to talk to you. They've given me a very brief window to give you 74 years in maybe 7-10 minutes. I'm going to work very quickly at getting it done. I want to thank all the folks that are here. I want to particularly shout out to Janon Rollins and Angela Williams Mitchell and Linda Blake, Roberta Smiley, Richie, Matt. I'm going to miss somebody, but you all forgive me if I do. But some of you have worked around the clock to make this a possibility, and looking forward to November 6th as another big day for our community. And that's what we're going to talk about this morning. For years, we've had the opportunity to explore the richness of our community. The talented folks within the community that are ignored and the community residents that are underserved. In community, there's a word unity at the end of it. And we want to talk today about unity. The unity that we can get in our community. The common interest that makes it necessary for us to work together. You know, I think of an example where you have a boulder to push up a hill and one guy weighing 220 pounds trying to push this boulder up the hill by himself. Not likely that he's going to move that unless it weighs 20 pounds. But if it weighs 500-600 pounds and he has to move it by himself and he's 220 pounds, it's not likely to happen. But if you get 15 or 20 individuals locking arms to push that boulder up the hill, it will go in short order. I'm sure you would agree that that is likely to happen. What we're aiming to do today is pull our community together in a way that we can move that boulder up the hill and get the results that we want in housing, in economic development, in education. And the national organization has founded or decided that they're moving in a certain direction. That direction is to pull communities together, to be able to move boulders up mountains, to be able to move some of the obstacles that have impeded us for years. When we think of housing, everybody is sort of interested in having shelter. It's a safe place to go. And if many of us are made sort of put in a position where that becomes a challenge, either because of cost or availability, you can understand how that will impact each of us, because what happens to one happens to the other, although not necessarily connected directly. Now, if we look at the core of what we do, housing is at the core, democracy in housing. And it is our intent as an organization to lock arms with other organizations, NAACP, Urban League, BECMA, any of the organizations that have those core economic interests, to be able to move together in a way, because there are many organizations in our city, our fair city, Boston, and around the country as I travel. And there are hundreds of small splintered organizations, each trying to accomplish in their own way the things that are of our common interests. So I hope today you will find the opportunity in the things that we have as common interests: economic development, housing, jobs, education. And you can talk to somebody in this room that has or share your interests, and let's pull together, because together we can achieve more. Together we can do much greater things. Together we can have a much larger impact. Together our voices are louder than individuals. And individual organizations, just like individual people, have smaller voices, generally speaking, than a collaborative effort from many organizations with the same voice on the same common interests. So I urge you today, as we look forward to the opportunity that we have in this moment, the time is now, that we are able to see in each other the opportunity to collaborate, to trust, which is what many of us do not do. But to be able to trust in the opportunity we have, to be able to move our communities forward, to be able to take the opportunity that's in front of us, capitalize on that opportunity by bringing our strengths and our weaknesses together, because in doing so, we can improve our weaknesses and certainly accelerate the impact that our strengths produce. I want to thank you all for taking the opportunity to come to hear and to explore how we can do this. The National Association has 5 pillars that they're pursuing. One of those pillars is the faith-based community. The second is the one that I focus on mostly, which is our community impact. The organizations in our communities that pursue the same interests. For a number of years, we've tried to connect to some of those organizations, not with the impact that we expected or anticipated, but we've now made a concerted, focused effort on making that opportunity, that intent, a reality by going directly to these organizations and sharing with them our goals, looking for common interests, and then working on those common interests. And for those organizations that are here today, we're going to ask you to make that commitment so that we work together, a formal type arrangement that allows us to support you in your goals and objectives and allows you to support us in our goals and objectives, where there's common interests, there's common growth and success that we can look or reflect on in our communities. And I hope that as we talk and we work together, that we can explore those opportunities for the benefit of our communities and those who live in our communities. I work in many of different areas of real estate and have been for years, from real estate sales, service, management, development, construction, the whole gambit, financing, and have had the opportunity to work with many wonderful people in all of those areas. And I tell you that we can do some wonderful things together. I tell you that if we lock arms, we can move boulders up mountains. And some of the things we have ahead of us are greater, larger than boulders. There are things that have been with us for years and have been hurdles that we now have to move over, get around, or push out the way. But together, we can push them out the way, which is what I hope we do as part of this beginning. Thank you very much.
Just want to get another round of applause for Mr. Phipps, please. When he's stuck in behind the podium following this man. But I would like everybody just to sit down and talk to one another, and we're going to try to set up a brunch right now so we can enjoy some food and nourish our bodies. And while we do that, once we finish up, I'm going to read this commitment that he's talking about, because I think we need to read it aloud. You guys can follow along if you wish, but I myself would like to read it aloud because it does something for me when I read it. So we're going to set up a brunch. Take your time, talk to one another, share a story. Again, we was dependent as kids. We became dependent growing up. Then we tried to do everything ourselves and be independent. Now it's time to be interdependent and work with one another. So let's sit down, talk to one another, and figure out how to do it and enjoy our food. Talk to you guys shortly.